Welcome everyone, and especially to this fantastic panel. I must say 30 years of the IPCC makes me feel old because I was a young reporter on a newspaper in Sydney in Australia in 1987, speaking to a scientist, a climate scientist from the CSIRO, the sort of leading science organization of Australia. And what he told me shocked me, and it changed my life, actually, speaking to a scientist about what climate change could bring to the world. And it meant that I took up a career in communication about climate change. So it's amazing what knowledge can do. So that's what we're here to discuss today. We asked everyone to prepare around the topic of the importance of climate knowledge. How do we use climate knowledge, climate science, to advance the decision making, but also to help people become more resilient to what we can expect from climate change? I'm going to ask Anna Arzhanova to speak first. She's the president of the World Underwater Federation. You're one of the most. You work for one of the most exciting organizations, I would say, seeing the impacts of climate change very much from the front line. So please begin, and each of our panelists will give a few remarks to open, and then we'll go into a discussion. So Anna. Yes, you can.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I will introduce our organization. It's called CMAS. English name World Underwater Federation, and this is International Sport Federation, which represents underwater activities in underwater sport, science, and oversees an international system of recreational free diving, scuba diving, and snorkeling. CMAS was founded in 1959. And the founding member and key proponent of CMAS was the French underwater explorer and diving pioneer Jacques Cousteau. And he was our first president. Still now, Cousteau's values aim our activities. Nothing would have been possible without the passion and strong friendship. And the sea is our world. Jacques Cousteau said, "We have to protect what we love." Today, CMAS is represented by 130 national federations, with members about 3 million divers. And these divers are our soldiers. Our soldiers in order to protect underwater environment and biodiversity. Also, they are the first witnesses of the changes underwater. Divers are encouraged to create and participate in underwater monitoring projects in order to detect and point out changes of a natural habitat of underwater cultural heritage sites. Thus, divers should participate in cleanup activities to collect pollution materials such as plastic or abandoned fishing nets. Our goal is now to clean up the sea and launch a worldwide campaign to raise awareness and influence education involving the young generation in schools and universities. In order to join forces around this problem, we wanted to create the task force called Blue Helmets of the Sea, to symbolize the value of our global efforts, because it's not possible to protect our planet without joint efforts of everybody, of all humans on the planet. The Blue Helmets of the Sea from the project became a movement to involve all the authorities, all associations, universities, schools, to protect the sea, to protect the ocean. Because the scientific world is very closed, and the normal people, they don't know a lot of things. As you know, everybody in Italy knows that now it's very cold, it's snowy in Rome, and for people it's difficult to understand that the climate change and the water is warmer, and nobody, just some people in Italy and in the world knows that last year in Grand Barrier Reef, because of just 1 degree warming, in some parts of Grand Barrier Reef was died in 67% north part. And the coral reefs are bleaching, and this has destroyed our ocean and all the nature. This is very important to educate the people, educate young generation to protect the marine environment. The Blue Helmets of the Sea was officially launched in 2016 in Salerno. And we have several initiatives inside this project, inside this movement. The most important, the main task is the education of the people to protect the marine environment, to promote the sea cleaning campaigns and recover underwater hidden treasures. But speaking of the CMAS wants to turn the spotlight also on a social emergency that disrupt Europe and the Mediterranean countries, migrants. To this aim, Blue Helmets of the Sea launched the idea to establish, with the cooperation of local authorities and associations, a training courses for underwater activities for migrants of various nationalities who flee from their countries and from the war. We train, the first course, we trained 40 people, 40 young people, and from different countries to dive. But the most important, to love the sea. And we had some people, some young guys. One of them came from North Africa, and his family died in the sea with the boat. He was the only who survived. And the idea is, from hating the sea to give the love to the sea. He has to be educated and learn how to love the sea and how to protect the sea. European Parliament member Silvia Costa welcomes CMAS delegation in Brussels to underline again how Blue Helmets of the Sea is a unique project in the world, and it's necessary to remember that all the mankind needs to protect and share its cultural, naturalistic and environment heritage. One of the biggest problems is plastic in the ocean. You saw the comics. CMAS, in cooperation with the International School of Comics, set up a campaign to raise awareness in defense of the sea through comics. The CMAS would like to involve UNESCO too, and together with scientists, with universities, the divers and the athletes, all the members forming a common front aimed to retrieving the hidden underwater treasures and freeing and cleaning our sea. We can no longer tolerate plastic islands in the sea. Those plastic islands are huge agglomeration of garbage floating in the ocean and kills millions of marine and bird species. It's an enormous ecological disaster. How we can defend the ocean? Only to join our efforts. And the main initiatives which we propose to protect our nature, to protect our planet by education and involving all the universities, authorities, schools in this education, in this awareness. This is the code of ethic of diver, code of ethic of the people who live in the sea, near the sea, and who don't know when they throw something, plastic, it kills somebody. Education is the most important in this, and we CMAS Academy trainers, during the lessons, we get people achieve to our members and new members to be more involved in environmental problems. Every diver, now we have a new database, and every diver report about the infraction and problem encountered during the excursion. In order to better understand and to better involve the young generation, we have to use social media, Instagram, to collect the images of such as the beauty of the ocean and how fragile its habitats' life as a result of human activity. The global climate changes, pollution, and overexploitation of resources significantly affect the marine life, and possible effects are foreseen: coral bleaching, stormy weather, rising sea levels, and ocean acidification, and as a result, dying of phytoplankton, lungs of the earth. Only 6 degrees of warming of the water probably will kill our ocean. And as our ocean gives us more than 3/4 of the oxygen, it will kill the planet. Awareness of young generation is a great importance to prevent these changes. When they know these effects, they will create sustainable and innovative ideas to stop these effects and to save our planet.
Thank you, Anna.